Module 3 focuses on the development of basic vocabulary in Ijaw, which is a fundamental aspect of language learning. Vocabulary forms the building blocks of communication, as it enables learners to understand and express ideas clearly in both spoken and written forms. Without an adequate vocabulary base, it becomes difficult for learners to form sentences, participate in conversations, or comprehend messages effectively. In this module, learners are introduced to commonly used Ijaw words drawn from everyday life. These include numbers, days of the week, months of the year, common objects, and family members. The module is designed to help learners gradually build a practical vocabulary that can be used in real-life communication situations such as greetings, conversations, storytelling, and daily interactions. Vocabulary is central to mastering any language, and this is especially true for Ijaw, which relies heavily on correct pronunciation and contextual usage. Learning vocabulary in Ijaw is important for several reasons. Firstly, vocabulary enables effective communication. When learners know the right words, they can express their thoughts, needs, and ideas clearly. For example, knowing words for common objects such as furrow, water, or book allows learners to interact confidently in everyday situations. Secondly, vocabulary supports the development of other language skills such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing. A learner who understands basic words will find it easier to follow conversations, read simple passages, and construct meaningful sentences. Finally, vocabulary helps learners understand cultural context. Many Ijaw words are closely tied to the lifestyle, environment, and traditions of the Ijaw people. Learning these words helps learners appreciate the culture and use the language appropriately in different social settings. Building a strong vocabulary is essential for effective communication in any language. In Ijaw, a solid foundation of words enables learners to express ideas clearly, interact socially with ease, and understand conversations in both formal and informal settings. This module introduces key vocabulary categories that are commonly used in daily life, ensuring that learners acquire practical and relevant language skills. By the end of this module, learners will be able to recognize, pronounce, and use basic Ijaw vocabulary accurately in context. Learners will demonstrate the ability to identify words related to numbers, days of the week, months of the year, common objects, and family members. They will also be able to apply these words in simple sentences, engage in basic conversations, and respond appropriately in everyday situations. In addition, learners will develop improved pronunciation, better listening skills, and increase confidence in using Ijaw for communication. Numbers are an essential part of everyday communication, used for counting, telling time, and carrying out daily activities. In Ijaw, number words follow clear and consistent pronunciation patterns, which makes them relatively easy for learners to understand, remember, and use in context. The basic Ijaw numbers are as follows: 1 Ik, 2 Ib, 3 Fu, 4 F, 5 Iba, 6 IBFA, 7 IFO, 8 FFO, 9 IBFO, 10 OGO. These number forms show a structured pattern where smaller units are often combined to form larger numbers, helping learners recognize relationships between them. With regular practice, learners can quickly become familiar with these forms and apply them confidently in everyday situations such as counting objects, stating quantities, and engaging in simple conversations involving numbers. Numbers from 11 to 20 in Ijaw are formed by combining the base number for 10, Ogo, with the smaller number values. This structure creates a clear and logical pattern that helps learners extend their counting skills with ease and consistency. 11 Ogo Ik, 12 Ogo Ib, 13 Ogo Fu, 14 Ogo F, 15 Ogo Iba, 16 Ogo IBFA, 17 Ogo Ifo, 18 Ogo FFO, 19. Ogo IBFO. 20. IB. This formation system shows how Ijaw numbers build progressively, making it easier for learners to understand and remember higher numbers. With regular practice, learners can confidently apply these patterns in everyday counting, conversation, and practical numerical use. Days of the week are essential for organizing activities and communicating about time in everyday life. In Ijaw, each day has a distinct name and pronunciation that learners are expected to recognize and use correctly in context. Monday, Loniai. Tuesday, Tunu. Wednesday, Weni. Thursday, Foni. Friday, Soni. Saturday, Tisi. Sunday, Ona. These terms are used in daily conversations when discussing schedules, events, work, and personal plans. Regular practice of the days of the week helps learners improve recall, pronunciation accuracy, and confidence in using time-related vocabulary in Ijaw communication. Months are important for discussing events, dates, and celebrations in everyday communication. In Ijaw, month names are adapted with clear pronunciation patterns that reflect the language's phonetic structure, with careful attention to vowel sounds and syllable clarity. January, Janua. February, February. March, Maki. April, April. May, Me. June, Juni. July, Julie. August, Agositi. September, September. October, October. November, November. December, December. These month names are commonly used when discussing schedules, planning events, and referring to important dates and celebrations. Regular practice helps learners improve pronunciation accuracy, memory retention, and confidence in using time-related vocabulary in Ijaw communication. Learning the names of everyday objects is a vital step in language development, as it enables learners to describe their immediate environment and participate actively in simple conversations. In Ijaw, Izon, being familiar with common objects helps learners communicate basic needs, give descriptions, and understand instructions in real-life situations such as at home, in school, or in the market. When learners can identify and name items they see daily, the language becomes more practical, meaningful, and easier to retain. Some examples of everyday objects in Ijaw include house, Yori. Water, Me. Food, Furo. Chair, Toby. Book, Booker. Pen, Pena. Market, Mokoriti. Boat, Boti. Understanding these words allows learners to form simple expressions and sentences, which strengthens both speaking and comprehension skills. Below are examples of how these words can be used in sentences. Eyi Yori, this is a house. Efo me, I drink water. Efo Furo, I eat food. Timi Esai Toby, Timi sits on a chair. Timi Efo Booker, Timi reads a book. Eteki Pena, I hold a pen. Edego Mokoriti, I am going to the market. Boba Efo Boti, father buys a boat. These example sentences show how vocabulary can be used in context to express actions, identify objects, and describe everyday activities. Practicing such sentences helps learners understand sentence structure while reinforcing word meanings. Learners are encouraged to practice by observing their surroundings and naming objects in Ijaw regularly. For instance, they can point to items in their home or classroom and say their names aloud, create their own sentences, or engage in simple conversations with others. This practical, hands-on approach strengthens memory, improves pronunciation, and builds confidence in using the language. Over time, consistent practice will enable learners to recall vocabulary quickly and use it accurately in everyday communication. Family vocabulary is an essential aspect of language learning, as it enables learners to talk about relationships, introduce family members, and share personal experiences in meaningful ways. In Ijaw, understanding family-related terms is particularly important because family plays a central role in social life, cultural practices, and everyday communication. Being able to refer to family members correctly allows learners to participate in conversations, tell stories, and express emotions more naturally. Some common family-related words in Ijaw include father, Baba, mother, Mama, brother, Ebe, sister, Ebi, son, Okpo, daughter, Oku, grandfather, Boboga, grandmother, Momaoga. Learning these terms helps learners describe their family structure and build simple but meaningful sentences. Below are examples of how these words can be used in context. Eyimi Baba, this is my father. Eyimi Mama, this is my mother. Mi Ebe de school, my brother is in school. Mi Ebi de Yori, my sister is at home. Eget Okpo, I have a son. Eget Oku, I have a daughter. Mi Boboga de Yori, my grandfather is at home. Mi Momoaga Weri mi, my grandmother greets me / is with me. These example sentences help learners understand how to use family vocabulary in everyday communication. They also support the development of sentence construction and pronunciation skills. Learners are encouraged to practice by talking about their own family members using these terms. They can introduce their family in class, describe relationships, or create short sentences and dialogues. This practical approach not only strengthens vocabulary retention but also builds confidence in speaking and helps learners connect language learning with their real-life experiences. This module has provided a strong and practical foundation in basic Ijaw vocabulary, equipping learners with essential words needed for everyday communication. Through the study of key vocabulary categories such as numbers, days of the week, months of the year, common objects, and family members, learners have developed the ability to recognize, pronounce, and understand words that are frequently used in real-life situations. This foundational knowledge serves as a critical step toward achieving overall language proficiency. By mastering these basic vocabulary items, learners are now better prepared to form simple and meaningful sentences, ask and respond to questions, and engage in everyday conversations with greater ease. They can describe their environment, talk about their family, express needs, and discuss time and events using appropriate Ijaw words. In addition, learners have begun to understand how vocabulary fits into sentence structure, which supports the development of both speaking and writing skills. Furthermore, this module has helped to improve learners' pronunciation and listening abilities, as consistent exposure to Ijaw sounds and words enhances their ability to communicate clearly and accurately. As learners continue to practice, they will gain more confidence in using the language, reducing hesitation and increasing fluency during interactions. It is important to note that vocabulary learning is an ongoing process. Continued practice through repetition, sentence formation, reading, and speaking will further strengthen retention and understanding. Learners are encouraged to use the words learned in this module regularly in conversations, classroom activities, and personal practice. Over time, this consistent use will lead to improved fluency, better pronunciation, and greater confidence in communicating effectively in Ijaw.